Although characters like Frieza, Cell and Buu always get brought up first in conversations of the best Dragon Ball antagonists, we cannot forget the OGs. King Piccolo, as short as his tenure in the series was, made a lasting impression, more specifically through his reincarnation and son, Piccolo Jr., a character we watch go from a personification of his father's grudge to a protector of Earth who holds his connection with others above all else, and so that is what we shall explore today. Now, Piccolo's introduction into the story comes in the 23rd World's Martial Arts Tournament. After the death of his father King Piccolo at the hands of Goku, a lone egg was spat out by the now dead king. Up until this point, we'd seen many of King Piccolo's offspring, but this one was different. Those previous children were pawns, tools for Piccolo's objective of world domination. The fact they don't even resemble their father says a lot. They weren't intended to be his equals or to succeed him, just do his bidding. They look more monstrous because they are lesser beings, whereas Piccolo literally resembles God. In contrast, Piccolo Jr. is starkly different. Unlike his siblings, he is the spitting image of his father. And well, that's because he isn't just a son, he is the soul of the original Piccolo passed on, aka reincarnation. Piccolo, from even before he was born, was entrusted with a goal. He had a set purpose in life. Now, although it's not actually canon, being anime only filler, I would be amiss to not mention the glimpses we see of Child Piccolo in the anime. With his egg floating down a river, a fun inversion of the story of Momotaro, since instead of a hero who would vanquish demons, floating down the river in a peach, it's a demon who wants to enslave humanity, floating in an egg down a river. And this egg of his is found by an old couple, this being a very clear parallel to Gohan finding Goku as a child. However, unlike Gohan, who was able to rein in and nurture Goku, Piccolo could not, and so left the house after, destroying it. And going back to the Goku parallels, this is very similar to Goku's heritage with the Saiyans, and Piccolo's with his father's. And so Piccolo matures with the goal of revenge against Son Goku. He trained and then entered the martial arts tournament for the sake of obtaining this revenge. With just the clothes on his back and the grudge of his father, this was all he could think to do. In this tournament we see Piccolo Jr. acting not very much like Piccolo Sr. He was impressed by Krillin, something the old Demon King would never have done, even calling the fighter by name and with respect. He seemed to enjoy fighting, again not something the old Demon King took specific pleasure in. This being the first sign to us that sure, this is Piccolo's reincarnation, but that doesn't mean they are the same person. And so in his next match against Kami, it's almost like his past self, since Kami is his other half, is trying to define who he is now. It's sin to the father. Kami is trying to seal Piccolo away due to the actions of his father. His father is once again defining him, but he rejects this, defeating Kami by reversing his Mafuba and trapping him in a jar. His fight against Goku in the finals is one fueled by revenge. He wants to kill Goku, firstly for being the one to kill his father, but also because Goku stands in the way of his quest for world domination. However, as we will soon see, that quest really isn't Piccolo's true dream. Once again, just a lingering thread from his father, a duty placed on him but not one he himself has chosen. When he is defeated by Goku, he is spared. Goku does not take his life as he sees Piccolo as a rival. They form a connection. Their relationship does not have to be defined by revenge. The fact Goku doesn't seek it out proves to Piccolo that such a relationship is possible. And then when Raditz arrives on Earth, Piccolo teams up with Goku to defeat him, and what's most shocking is Piccolo is the one to propose this. Sure, Piccolo was technically doing this because he doesn't want the Saiyans taking over Earth before him, but that reason doesn't really matter nearly as much as what happens. Piccolo asks for help, from the man who he was destined to kill no less. Something that becomes abundantly clear as the series goes on is that lone power loses out to collective power. It's why Goku's ultimate move, the Spirit Bomb, involves the collective power of thousands, sometimes millions of people. Why Super Saiyan was unlocked due to Goku's feelings towards Krillin. Or why so many major fights end as team battles, with Gohan needing the support of his father and a pot shot from Vegeta to vanquish Cell. And Piccolo comes to first understand this here when he asks for help. In this fight against Raditz, Goku sacrifices himself to save his son, with Piccolo getting to fulfill his destiny of killing Goku. Yet he finds no glory in it. In fact, he doesn't even really focus on it. Instead, he takes Gohan, training him for the upcoming fights. Without even knowing it, the power of connection has become logical in Piccolo's mind. Now we all know how great the relationship between Piccolo and Gohan is, Piccolo growing into an almost parental figure in Gohan's eyes. And it is this connection with Gohan that fully changes Piccolo, or more importantly, allows him to fully break away from his father's legacy. As I think you've noticed already, I've been alluding to this idea of Piccolo being defined by his father. Everything he did from the moment he was born was in service to avenging his father and completing what his father could not. But these never were this Piccolo's desires, just those he was born wanting to do. It's through his connection with Gohan that Piccolo comes to understand the things he, as an individual, not as the reincarnation of Demon King Piccolo, values. This being blatantly shown by his death at the hands of Nappa. He jumped in the way of an attack aimed at ending Gohan's life. To go from wanting to kill all humans to dying to save just one. You can't imagine the old Piccolo doing that. And that's the point, because this isn't Demon King Piccolo. Piccolo is his own person. Gohan was the only one to call him friend, and that touched Piccolo's heart. Remember, he still has all King Piccolo's memories, so all he knew of interacting with other people was conquering humans or using his children as tools. Piccolo just never got to experience true connection, to fight for not your own sake but for another's. That is what Piccolo learns and what he comes to value. When he is wished back to life and brought to Namek, Piccolo once more uses the power of connection, literally fusing with Nail, forming a permanent connection with him for the sake of fighting Frieza and protecting his new friend Gohan. Before fusing, he would have done nothing to Frieza, but because he trusted in another, he was able to go toe to toe with second form Frieza. Once again, collective power over lone power. But to circle back a bit, by fusing with Nail, he also got one other thing. To understand his heritage. King Piccolo was just one half of the nameless Namekian, just the evil expelled from what became Kami's heart. So Piccolo himself had no connection to Namek. I mean, he didn't even know he was Namekian, he thought he was a demon. His heritage was hidden to him, he was once more defined by his father, called himself a demon because of his father. His Namekian nature is a massive part of him, yet he never got to know or understand it until now. To discover who he really is, Piccolo must return to his homeland and connect to his people. In a way, fusing with Nail gave him back the things his father lost when he split from Kami. But also notice how he didn't stay on New Namek. He chose to remain on Earth because he realised that fulfilling connections don't need to be made with his people. Sure, he is happy to have met them, and know he isn't the only big green guy around. But by meeting the Namekians, he comes to realise they aren't any different from the connections he already had. His connection to Gohan and the Z Fighters is just as meaningful as any he makes with his own people. And then again in the Android Saga, when he fuses with Kami, he becomes fully complete. As he says, he is neither Kami or Piccolo. He is something new. This is symbolic of him escaping from his father's shadow, no longer being just the second coming of Demon King Piccolo, but his own existence, his own person, not shackled by the past and free to do whatever he wants. He doesn't protect the Earth because that is what the Guardian is meant to do. I mean, he doesn't even want to become the Guardian after absorbing Kami. No, he does it because Piccolo the individual cares for the people of Earth and does not want them to perish. He has grown into a caring and understanding person. I mean, to go from wanting to conquer the Earth to protecting it, or how he originally trained Gohan to use as a trump card against the Saiyans in some kind of brutal ways, but now in the Cell Saga is against making Gohan fight Cell because Gohan doesn't like to fight. He puts his life on the line again and again to protect the Earth because he has come to see the beauty in it. It is his home. What Piccolo's story boils down to is a journey of self-discovery, about becoming who you want to be, independent of what those around you expect of you. Piccolo was expected to become a world-conquering Demon King. His father expected it of him, and those of the world took one look at him and ran away screaming. He was defined by his father's legacy, and easily could have been just that, defined by it. But what makes Piccolo such a strong character is that he didn't let himself be just the next Piccolo. He allowed himself to change, to be influenced by others, and as a result become his own person. He puts the demons of the past to rest, quite literally, and changed into a healthy person who has a positive relationship on those around him. Piccolo was changed by connection, and now his connection with others changes them too. Piccolo will always remain my favourite Dragon Ball character, because he shows us that no matter where you come from, what your background is, or what others tell you. Only you can decide the person you want to be. You are not your father, you are you. And that is what Piccolo teaches us. And if you want to support this channel even further, then perhaps pledge to my Patreon, or consider becoming a channel member, so you can get your name at the end of the video, like Rinjack9696, Mr. Sputum, Marimo, Jack Hammer, Zolby and Eric Hinton.